Welcome to another video, guys. If you're new to my channel, I talk about spirituality, I talk about mental health, and kind of whatever I'm working on in the moment. I also offer one-on-one sessions. If that sounds like something you would be interested in, then feel free to message me on my Instagram or my email address, which will both be in the description below. For those of you who have been keeping up with my journey and what I've been working on, you may know that I have been kind of working through previous conditioning and learning how to find my own voice and find my own kind of path. And so I've been continuing to work on that. And so I just kind of want to elaborate and go further into what I've been working on since then. So what I've realized recently is that a lot of my life I have been pulled away from myself. So not allowing myself to be me. And this is something that I've discussed in some of my other videos. I have realized that a lot of my life has been focused outward on reaching out to grab something, reaching out to achieve something, reaching out to seek validation for something. And the reason for doing that was because my way of getting validation and approval, or at least the way I was seeking it out, was from outside of myself. So I ended up living partially a life that was based around what others' expectations of me were, or my perceived expectations of others on me. So a lot of the work that I've done recently has been becoming aware of what really is going on inside of me and who I am as a person inside of me. And I realize now that there's a huge dimension within me that exists that is that has not had the space to be, or has not had the opportunity to be explored. And it's something that was present as a kid, because I in doing some of the meditations and doing some of the work of just allowing myself to connect, I've kind of had memories and familiarities of feelings of exploring those states as a child, but I never had the tools or the awareness to be able to recognize that that was something I could continue or something that was important. A lot of it has to do to some degree with energy work. So being aware of the energy movement within my body. So where there might be a blockage, or where there might be something not moving, and becoming more aware of how I feel in my body, and being curious about that, that space. And then also kind of the space around me, my aura and stuff like that, which I know a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people kind of fetishize in some ways, it's it sounds juicy and interesting and stuff like that, which it is on some level, but I guess for me, the point I'm getting at is, for me, it's not something that I'm trying to reach for. It's something that I'm trying to that I'm just sinking into and learning about with from myself. So connecting, feeling, sensing, exploring. So that is kind of a new feature to my experience recently, is being having that awareness of those energetic components, and understanding that that's something that I maybe need to spend more time working on in the future, and spending more time intentionally sitting down and sensing where my energy is, and sensing how to balance my field and balance and feel where things might be out of whack or where things might be flowing, how to like create a more peaceful space, expanding my heart, stuff like that. Those are things that I think I'm gonna like maybe put more time and effort into the future. As far as like interactions go with other people, I've noticed that I've been focusing more on what I can control in the situation, and focusing on like not so much on validation from others, but more focusing on my ability to connect and listen. And I still do seek validation from others, and I notice myself slipping into states where I'm doing things to kind of get that approval or get that kind of like reaction out of people. So I really enjoy like making people laugh. So I do notice that like sometimes I'll kind of joke around, but it doesn't sometimes it feels like I'm doing it for like my own personal reasons, and not so much like because it's for the benefit like of the group. And so that's kind of like where I'm figuring out where does my personality intersect with what's beneficial for the group, and what aspects is it like important for me to be able to express, and then what aspects maybe are not something that is helpful to the space that we're in. So I'm kind of trying to find that like subtle line of where do I need to be within myself within certain spaces. And throughout this whole process, I want to remind you that I am not necessarily being like judgmental towards myself. I'm just being curious and open and trying to understand and feel what it feels like when I say something or do something, or notice the feedback from other people, how it was received, if it was received, what impact does it have like later on? Does it increase the mood of the group? Does it feel like it was kind of like not really well received? And so being able to like kind of sense those dynamics and sense like how the space is moving, how the energy is moving, has been like really interesting to explore. And I think that the job that I'm working at is really allowing me to explore that space further. So it's a great opportunity for me to work in that space. So that's kind of what I've been working on. I've been working on presence and like picking up on sort of what I'm feeling in my body, in my field, what like kind of being more intentional about like what I want to like bring to the table in certain scenarios. So obviously there's like relationships where I don't have to be as like intentional about how I'm behaving or how I'm like existing, because like it's a like there's a trust there. There's like a kind of it's not as structured of a space. And then there's other spaces that are more structured that do demand that require a certain amount of like listening to be able to like reach the place that needs to be met for that space, if that makes sense. So like if I'm assisting people in a therapeutic setting, I need to be able to be present in a way that's conducive to that therapy process. So I can't just be like relaxing playing my Switch or like browsing through Reddit or something like that. I have to be present in a way that's going to facilitate that group. So hopefully that like makes it more clear if I'm not being clear. But it's been interesting. I don't know. I'm really like excited. I feel really like passionate, and I feel like I have like a clear purpose right now. Like I don't necessarily have like a vision exactly of where I'd like to go next, but I have things that I enjoy doing and things that like I want to continue to pursue and continue to explore. And so I'm just kind of letting those passions and those interests kind of lead me to where I need to go at this point. There's nothing really I feel like I need to change in my immediate future. And so right now I'm kind of content where I am and learning how to follow my interests. So I hope that video was helpful in some way. It is helpful for me to just kind of share my thoughts and to put that out there and to sort of express where I'm at in my development. So I do hope that maybe it's helpful for you, or at least interesting. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions for me or have any video requests, let me know in the description below, or let me know in the comments below. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to seek your truth and to take time for yourself, and I will catch you in my future videos. Bye for now.